I'm again, and today I'm reviewing Chucky, the television series.
Everyone has a Halloween they'll always remember. And this is Jake's.
Jake, you into vintage?
No, I'm into retro.
Oh, what's the difference?
About $10.
Fair enough. Look at that. Someone took the butcher knife.
Which is a follow-up to The Cult of Chucky. Don Mancini has crafted an iconic character in Chucky alongside Brad Dourif, the voice, the humour, and from Child's Play to Child's Play 2, Child's Play 3, The Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, The Curse of Chucky. It's the films are varied, but it's consistent. I feel it's one of the most consistent horror series out there. And after The Cult of Chucky's release, there was an announcement by MGM that they were doing a remake of Child's Play. Now, there's a little bit of a legal cesspit there where they could remake Child's Play, but they couldn't do a straight down the middle Chucky film as a Chucky film. And Don Mancini was like, well, it doesn't matter because Sci-Fi have approached me and they've given me money to make a television series. Now, one would go, would that work? Instantaneously, I was excited. I did go see Child's Play, the 2019 film. What they attempted to do with it, yeah, it was okay, but it was unnecessary. When you have Brad Dourif alive and Don Mancini still around, more than willing to continue the story and build it exponentially, you should stick to it. And I'm so grateful that Sci-Fi have given the money and given Don Mancini the room to expand. This is one of the most hilarious, emotional, well thought out, deep, sumptuous, glorious television series I've ever watched. It is sublime. The writing is just beautiful. And it allows Don Mancini to spread his wings, and also with his writing team, to flesh out these characters. This long form benefits Chucky. And a lot of people would go, really? Oh, it does. Because not only do we get little vignettes and flashbacks to what made Charles Lee Ray who he was, also we even get a partial history of who Tiffany is. It's just so good. The look of it, the detail, the cinematography. Money was spent on this, and usually Sci-Fi, it's cheap, or it's, Sci-Fi's known for like producing shit like Sharknado. So when initially that association, but they're swimming in this territory where they've got a big amassed audience and they've got a select niche, but they've also factored in that if we spend money on certain properties, on certain IPs, and I think this was a perfect IP for Sci-Fi to take a hold of. It's pure R-rated, it's vicious, it's spiteful. Tony Gardner's work with the puppetry, the animatronics, it takes everything that is so great about Chucky and it explodes. This is more in tone with what Don Mancini did initially. There's a humour, and I know a lot of people don't like the humour, heavily scarred Chucky. They thought it became a bit of a meta pastiche, a parody of itself. But Chucky has always been humorous. And the thing about Chucky is he is such a compelling character. He's very simplistic. He just wants to fuck shit up. He's an anarchist. He's a lunatic. He's a serial killer. He's a nihilist. But Brad Dourif makes him so charming. As charming as a serial killer could be. And that's the real root of why this works, because we have a fascination with serial killers, their methodologies, their mentalities, their physicalities, their modus operandi, and in the form of a doll. And I think what Don Mancini did with initially Seed of Chucky was like, we can make this meta, we can push this, and if we push this into a more cartoonish, less somber, self-serious angle, there's potential. And the meta humor, sometimes fourth wall breaking, it is just sublime. Don Mancini spent a long time mapping this out, but it was announced years and years ago that he was in production of this. A lot of work has been spent on this. But what really got to me was the characters. You care about the characters, and a long form like television done well, it does that. The story of Jake, this young teenage schoolboy who's an outsider, not just an outsider because of his attitude to life and art. He's gay, and I like that the gay narrative is a real true love story between him and the character Devon. It's so good. The casting is so sublime, fucking sublime. Really like up there. You know, child actors are uh, take them or leave them, but the casting, the writing, the directing, it's blown my mind. I think this is the best horror television series. It's just great. I love it. I fucking love it. This is the best television series I have watched. It's everything I like. The kitsch, the camp, the gore, the humour, and the real stakes. You feel the emotion. You feel the temptation of these youths who are disenfranchised and know they may be privileged or snooty or bitchy or seen above as everyone else. Each and every one of us has something in us that can be manipulated, and I really like that angle that Chucky is, and his modus operandi here isn't just anarchy; it's to seed, to plant the seed of the notion of murder, to normalise murder, to normalise give in to your intrusive thoughts or give in to your greater powers, which are anger and emotion. I loved it. I loved it. I can't recommend it enough. I'm quite late in watching it because I didn't watch. I didn't have any means to watch it. And then it was on Blu-ray, and then it wasn't. Then it was. What I noticed with the Chucky films is the box sets and all such and sundry. You can't get hold of them, then you can, and then when you want to get hold of them, they're too expensive. And when they're cheap enough, you don't have enough money to get them. I brought this because it was like 10 quid, and I was like, I feel it'll be worth it. And was it worth it? I mean, if they were selling it for 35 quid, knowing it, if I had an inkling that it would be this good. So yeah, if you haven't watched the Chucky television series, if you like Chucky as a character, but if you actually like horror series with a streak of drama and themes that are relatable, themes that are universal, but also focusing on the teenage aspect at school was divine. Also, they get the original child actor Alex Vincent, who briefly appeared in the previous movies in a cameo role, just to see him come back and see the evolution of that character. What leads to making Alex Vincent's character get to that stage where he's assured he's almost a hitman. He's almost a silent vigilante based upon just killing off good guy dolls. Fiona Dourif, isn't it? Made up to look like her daddy-o with great makeup, the physicality that she pulls. You know, she's inherently feminine, as you see in the series. When she's partially clad, she's beautiful. She's got that physique, but just to take on those cadences and that physical poise of her father, it's no mean feat. Also, Jennifer Tilly is doing Tiff, and she's doing Jennifer Tilly as Tiff. So many meta layers, and it's just ingenious, and I love it. And also the evolution of that character, giving more depth to Tiff. She's at the end of her tether, but she is so almost universally bound with Chucky. She can't get away from him. 5 stars. I can't recommend it enough. It is so fucking good. So watch it. Watch Chucky the television series, and if you don't, you're missing out. So yeah, sublime. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. And if you don't, you're missing out.